Hi, welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah. I'm Rabbi Adam Stein. I'm a bit freezing out here at Douglas Park, and now it started to rain, but I'm glad this camera is waterproof. I just wanted to be out here because even though it's cold and raining today, it's been so beautiful recently with the blue sky and the flowers starting to come out. You can see some over there across the street and further away at Douglas Park. But I just wanted to share a few thoughts. It's been a bit of a difficult time recently, partly in BC because we've had these variants on the rise and cases going up and up of COVID-19. Even as we're trying to get more and more vaccines out there, I can really just hope and pray that people are careful and keep masking and not coming together with other people, especially inside, but even outside. And that we get more and more vaccines to people and push down these variants. But it's also a strange time in the Jewish calendar. We finished Pesach, we made it through, and then so soon after we have Yom HaShoah, the day when we remember the horrors of the Holocaust, and that just happened on Wednesday night and Thursday. And we had across Canada commemoration, a virtual commemoration, which is wonderful and a great thing to do, and to come together with all the different Holocaust and other Jewish educational organizations making this happen. That was yesterday afternoon, our time, 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock here. But it can hardly replace something in person where you get to really interact with Holocaust survivors and hear their stories. And then this coming week, we have Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. These are such powerful modern holidays. They're coming up, I believe it's Tuesday night and Wednesday night, Thursday. And if you've ever lived in Israel, if you've lived there for a majority of your life, or a few years, 10 years, maybe just a year or two, or maybe three, Rabbi Infeld, Rabbi Blumen and I each lived there for 3 years while we're studying at various institutions. And you have such experiences when you're there of Yom HaAtzmaut and Yom HaZikaron. Yom HaZikaron, people go to the cemeteries, especially the military cemeteries, especially Mount Herzl. So powerful to be there and see the ceremonies, see families gathered around graves of loved ones who died a few years ago, a few months ago, or decades ago in defense of the state of Israel, in the IDF, Tzahal, just gathered around the grave, maybe putting flowers, maybe crying, maybe just standing there for hours. And then there's a whole memorial at Mount Herzl for people who have died in terror attacks. Yom HaZikaron is also to remember them. And it's when I remember my friends Marla Bennett and Ben Blutstein, with whom I studied for a year and was really very friendly with, and just interacting in the Beit Midrash, studying, going on trips together, being at Shabbat meals together. They were both killed in the Sinatra Cafe attack at Hebrew University in the summer of 2002. But then you get to this transition between Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, so powerful, between utterly sad and amazingly happy, to celebrate the joy of having our own state. And that declaration of independence that happened in Tel Aviv, to finally have sovereignty in our own state after 2,000 years, and all the joy and challenges that brings, of finally having our own place to really control and deal with being in charge and providing for everyone in the land, and now trying to keep them healthy and bring vaccines. And we've seen how amazing that's been, and we wish more and more vaccines for people in Israel and for people here, of course. And I want to tell you about one more thing that I just found about last night. It's so amazing. On Sunday, the Sunday between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaZikaron, 30 different organizations, Jewish organizations around the world, are partnering with the World Zionist Organization to do a reading of the Declaration of Independence, not just a reading, but a chanting of it in Tamei HaMikra, in the Torah trope, cantillation. And it'll be chanted in the Ashkenazi version that we do, in Moroccan, and maybe others. And it's just such an amazing thing. Many organizations from our movement, USY and the Rabbinical Assembly and USCJ and JTS are partners. What an amazing thing. You can see it there's a website, maybe we'll put the link in here. You can hear examples of people chanting. I just listened to a couple myself, and they have the Declaration of Independence with Torah trope added to it in different languages. Really amazing. So it's going to be all throughout the world. It's going to be streamed live, 8:30 our time on Sunday morning. That's a little bit early for me, I'd say, on a Sunday. But if I were still living in Melbourne, Australia, where I was before Vancouver, it'd be 1:30 in the morning. Anyway, so really, it should be an amazing thing. One more thing I'll remind you about. One of the sponsoring organizations is the Jewish Theological Seminary, JTS, where Rabbi Infeld went to rabbinical school. Rabbi Infeld and I just had a great chat yesterday with Chancellor Shuli Rubin Schwartz of the Jewish Theological Seminary. We're planning the great event we're going to have Monday at noon, where Rabbi Infeld will moderate, and I and other conservative rabbis in BC from Victoria to Richmond, West Van, will be asking her questions, our own questions, but also questions that you've submitted during your registration for this event. So I do ask you, please go register. It's going to be a great event, and I'll see you there. Shabbat Shalom.